Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie a LivelyLegz Hendrickson Prince. The hook that I have in the vise is a number 475 LivelyLegz lip splitter, and this is size 12. And I have a 3mm metallic coffee bead on there. I really like that metallic coffee bead. They're great on pheasant tail too. Match that pretty nice. We're going to use some Hemingway dubbing, and I have Hemingway hair dubbing plus, and this is salmon color. It's a brighter amber color. And here is hair dubbing, Hemingway hair dubbing, and this is amber. The plus has a little bit of an antron mixed in with it. And I'm going to use 8/0 rusty brown thread, and this is Hemingway's also. So we're going to start our thread behind the bead, and we're going to come back and put the tail on first. Our tail is going to be lemon wood duck or imitation wood duck, which is mallard flank. And we're going to go just to where it's inside the point of the hook. And whoop, get that off there. There we go. Now you could go ahead and put a rib on here if you want. I would use just a thread, a darker thread for the rib. An olive thread for a rib would work. Just an olive 8/0, a dark olive 8/0 thread. I'm just going to grab a piece and break this off here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put that around my thread. Don't need much of it. It's going to be the rib. I'm going to just secure that there and let that hang. Now I'm going to take my wood duck flank. I have just a little bit left. I've been tying off this one. And we want that tail. We're going to make that tail about 3/4 the length of the body. That actual piece was not good. We're going to use that, which is the remainder of that tip. Yeah, 15 or 20 barbels is what I got here. And we'll secure that. And then we're going to bring our thread right back up to the bead, and we'll put our leg on. Now our leg is, this is what they call yellow, speckled. It's just called yellow, but you can see it has some nice speckles in there. And this is a 12-14 leg from LivelyLegz. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of this front tab off. I'm going to bring it just inside the legs. There you go, just like that. You have to have something to tie down in the front there. So we're just inside the legs, and also if you keep them all cut, if you're making several of them, you cut them all at that same spot, you'll have a nice uniformity. I keep the LivelyLegz to my side as I'm first getting it, and then it's going to roll right to the top. And you put yourself about 4 or 5 wraps in front on that front tab. Actually got it. There we go. Then you could go to the middle and get several wraps there. Just keep moving that back to the top, and then you can go ahead and go behind that second set. Then I'm going to pull that third set because it's too long. You gotta use only 2, and trim that off. You can put that on the side and use those single legs individually. Just tie 2 of them on. But I got hundreds of them. And now if you want those legs to go down, like go to the bottom a little bit, just kind of give it a little bit of an X pattern, X there. And you can see how they went down. We're going to bring our thread back to the tail. And as always, I turn my hook upside down so I can I can dub closely. This is hair pattern or hair dubbing, so I'm going to put a little bit of wax on there. And also I'm going to use a little bit of moisture too to help me. And I'm taking the amber color, the darker amber first. And this formula is per the book that I have. The book is 30-some years old. It is the American Fly Tying Manual. And we're just going to dub that on. Remember, don't try to do too much. You can always add more. You can see those guard hairs in there. But we can just trim those guard hairs off when they stick up. And I have to add more, of course. And stretch that dubbing out too when you're putting it on. Don't just put a ball right there. Stretch that out so you get a nice noodle out of it. And I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this. I'm going to come up to the legs, and then whenever I'm using the LivelyLegz, I always pass it from front to back underneath, because that's the important part, because we're going to be covering that. So you have a nice coverage there. We're going to be covering that top piece. Now we're going to wrap our rib. I'm going to, I talked about those long guard hairs. I always hold the legs down when I'm going in with the scissors. It's a bummer when you hack off a leg. I'm going to take that rib, and I'm just going to kind of make one thread out of the two. Just get a little moisture on your fingers. That'll twist right in there. And we're going to give it that rib there. And I'm wrapping it pretty tight. And then carefully at the legs, so you don't push a leg down. I brought it up between the legs, and I'm going to tie it off there. Keeping those legs on top again. And we can go ahead and trim that off. Now for our wing case, we're going to use a brown Goose Biot. This is like a rusty brown color. I like that. You can use a dark natural color or even a black Goose Biot for your wing case. We're going to tie that in. I tie it in between the legs. And then we're going to tie it down right in back of those legs. So what I'm going to do is just give it a little X pattern there. And snug that in. Now I'm going to add some more dubbing. And I'm going to go to the salmon color, which is a little brighter of the amber color. And this noodle you want a little heavier because it's the thorax. But remember, just make a skinny noodle. and you're going to be going back over it. So I'm going to make a longer noodle to make it thicker thorax. And I got 3 inches of a noodle there. Now I'm going to get behind those legs first. And like I said, going from the back of the leg to in front of the legs, I always cross it over underneath. Tighten that up there a little bit. And then I'm going to do my crossover to the front. Try to get that tight to the front of the leg. Don't worry about it a real lot. And we're going to bring our thread right in front of that bead, or right in back of that bead. There we go. Now, for our wings, we're going to use white Goose Biot. Again, you just fold them like so, and they'll pop right open for you. Grab 2. We're gonna give it the X pattern just like you would with a Prince. Just give it a couple wraps just to hold it down, because it's gonna get several wraps. Put the other one on. Now we should be looking at an X on top. Take those fronts, and I'm going to fold those fronts back, wrap in front of them, but I'm also going to come down on top of them a little bit. Yep. Actually move that quite a bit further up there. And that's just going to help you to secure those legs, or those wings. Go ahead and stand them up. And I'm going to use my poke and snip so I only clip what I want to, and not a leg. Get that down there nice and close. Now at this point you can put a little bit of head cement right on there now. Now we're going to take our wing case and we're going to fold that over. I'm going to hold that in place with my thumb. Get a good tight wrap on there. Make sure it stays on the middle. You can bring that thread just about back to the front legs, because we're going to add just a pinch more of dubbing. Nip that off. Now we're going to take just the smallest amount of dubbing. I'm going to spread that out, make a nice skinny noodle there. And there we go. We're going to take our whip finish and whip finish that. And I'm going to put a little bit more head cement on there. I'm going to get right on that bead and let it roll right down inside there onto the thread. And here we have a LivelyLegz Hendrickson prints. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it there, just send me a message and we'll figure out what you're looking for. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.